Shaun, how's training been this week going into Morecambe?
Yeah, it's been good. We've been again pleased with the players. Obviously said that last week and then didn't quite get the performance we was hoping for. But yeah, I've been happy with their application, been happy with their approach, and we're hoping that'll lead to a better performance on Saturday.
And are there any key areas in the aftermath of the Slough game that you've been keen to see an improvement on this week?
Yeah, there's a few bits that we've worked on. I think from looking back at the game, I watched it back on the coach on the way home straight away, and was really pleased with the first sort of, I think it's probably about 17, 18 minutes. Some bits of play we'd worked on come out fantastically well. Just a little bit frustrating, and we played with really good control. I don't think looking back, they don't have a touch in our penalty area in that period. So we have good control of the game. Then we have a little bit of a setback where they get a couple of corners and things like that. And I think that's the challenge for us as a group at the minute, is how do we deal with difficult moments in the game better, basically. So rather than one difficult moment becoming two or three difficult moments, how do we deal with that one better? And that's confidence plays a massive part in that, so that you can't just walk around and give everybody confidence. That's impossible. What you have to do is try and create an environment and a structure and things like that where they can take confidence from, and then hopefully you see improvements as soon as possible. Really, obviously that's what we need. So, but yeah. So and then just a couple of bits once we get to the final third, we actually get in and around the final third quite well at times. Just then how we take advantage of them situations.
It's another tough league game coming up with Morecambe in the playoff spots. I'm sure you've watched some footage to analyse how they play. What sort of challenge are you expecting?
Yeah, it'll be really difficult. I think got a good manager for the level, some good players, some good individual players, and I think one thing watching them, and I watched them a couple of times early on the season, just as part of my old role, as in terms of being out and about, so I've seen them a few times, is they're well organised, they're definitely behind the ball, and they carry a threat in certain situations. So they, I think they show what you can be in this division. At the minute they're mixing it with the heavyweights, so to speak. They're banging there and doing really well, and I think Mason, the analyst, sent me through like the pre-match stuff that he sends through and looks at form guide, and I think there's only Wrexham and Stockport above them. So it shows that the challenge that's ahead, and Morecambe might not be as a glamorous name as some of the other ones, for example, Wrexham with the owners and things like that, but they're keeping speed with them, and we're not only 3 or 4 games in, we're 16 games in the season, so I think that shows how difficult the challenge is on Saturday. But something that I hope we're embracing. I definitely can't wait for the challenge, and hoping that we can build on last week as in terms of some of the bits that we did, but can we get a better performance for a longer period of time.
I'm just looking at the squad available to you on Saturday. Is there any changes from what was available to you at Slough?
Yeah, we've got a couple, unfortunately, that'll probably miss out through injury, and then 1 or 2 more that had knocks from the game, so we're just assessing them this morning. Gav will be back, which is positive news, so Gav's available to us, that's really good. So we're just looking forward to the game on Saturday, see how we've trained this morning, so see how everybody's sort of come through that, and then see tomorrow morning and make sure who's 100% available, because ultimately at the minute it's not about any particular individual, it's about the collective, and how can we get the collective in a better place to hopefully eventually you then start to see individuals really shine within that.
Just one more individual to touch on there. Kieran Green's made a couple of sub appearances coming back from injury. How far off do you think he is from being able to start a game?
No, I think he's close now, so hopefully Kieran's done great. He was really good last Sunday when he come on, as in terms of the way he applies himself, and he does that every day to day. Absolutely fantastic, professional, great guy to have around, and we saw on Sunday the level of ability that he's got and how he can play. So hopefully he keeps replicating that, keeps doing that, and he'll give himself the best opportunity to play.
Callum, Manley and Charles Vernon are a couple of players out with long-term injuries. What's the latest on them and where they're at?
Callum's not too far away now. He's started joining back in training a little bit. He's not close to playing or anything like that, but he's heading in the right direction, so that's good. Charles speaks on a daily basis, just as in terms of how is he getting on, and he seems in a good place at the minute. He's still a long way off being fit and available for selection or anything like that, but seems like he's moving forwards pretty well, so that's obviously really positive, and ultimately we want everybody available all the time, so hopefully he won't be too far away.
We saw some good news earlier this week for Otis Kay. Obviously last international break went away and didn't play and was caught up in a bit of bureaucracy. How happy for him that he's now available to play for Pakistan?
Yeah, delighted. For him personally, I think it's an opportunity I obviously definitely never got in my career. So if you've got an opportunity to go and represent your country, I think is there anything bigger than that in football? I'm not so sure. So obviously delighted for him personally that's been sorted now, and obviously a bit disappointed for us that we'll possibly miss him for, I think it'll be 2 games.
And just finally, we touched on it earlier in the week for an interview for the matchday programme for the Morecambe game. Be your first time managing a team at Blundell Park, somewhere that's really close to your heart. How much will that mean to you?
Really looking forward to it. It's my wife doesn't come to many games at all. I think she comes to usually the finals and stuff, but she's coming on Saturday, so I know it's obviously a big game. Really looking forward to it. It'll be a really proud moment. Obviously shared some really special moments over the last 8.5 years now. Well, not over the last 8.5 years, but 8.5 years that I've been here in total. And this will be another one to add to that. What I would say is I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm hopeful that we'll get an atmosphere that can hopefully allow the players to try and find that bit of confidence that they're searching for, because ultimately, whether, after the game if we're rubbish, fine, tell us we're rubbish or whatever, but during the game, let's try and have an atmosphere where everybody's sort of in it together, really. I always look at clubs over the last couple of years especially, clubs that are struggling, and you go to a game. For example, I went to a game at last season, and straight away the atmosphere when you turn up to the ground, I'm thinking these players are almost on a hide into nothing, and I'm not saying we've got that, because we haven't got that at all, but sometimes that's where it can spiral to, and I think if we can try and get everybody behind the players from the start, that'd obviously be fantastic. And I understand as much as anybody that the players obviously get the fans engaged and stuff like that, and we'll be trying our best to try and do that. But hopefully we'll see a really special day, a really special atmosphere, in terms of actually we're all coming together and we want to get out of this situation we're in at the minute, because we can't hide away from where we are in the league.